Hello everybody and welcome. In today's video, we're going to be talking about my tactical approach for another Premier League team. And let's get started with an overview. Of course, we are at Anfield and talking about Liverpool. The squad is pretty much set up for a 4-3-3 formation, so that's what I'm going to be using in this one. And like usual, I had a few tactical ideas that I wanted to use, and that includes incorporating some of their new signings. Like with many top teams, I like to keep it simple. Focus on harmonizing the player roles together and using only a handful of team instructions. The second point is more of a question: how to balance the tactic and player roles. Liverpool have a ton of talented attacking players, but I also want to focus on defending and supporting roles to create a cohesive unit. Finally, on a more specific note, getting the new playmaker involved. I'll work on getting one of their new signings into a role that benefits not only him as a player, but the team as a whole. Of course, that new signing is none other than Florian Wirtz, coming over from Bayer Leverkusen. He is natural in the center midfield, which works out with the 4-3-3 formation idea. Florian Wirtz and Liverpool are a good litmus test for trying to figure out your player roles and formation. See, when I'm building a tactic, I usually choose the squad's top 2 or 3 players and try to get them into their preferred player role. All the other player roles and players in the starting 11 will be worked in around those top 2 or 3 players, which means they may not be in their preferred player role. But we'll get into this more when looking at the tactic. And there are 3 key players that I'm going to put in a player role that tries to get the best out of them. The first again is Florian Wirtz. I want to use him in the advanced playmaker role on the attack duty. On attack, the role has a hard-coded instruction of dribble more. If we go to his player profile, we see that he has the player trait that fits in nicely. He likes to run with the ball often. Next is another new signing, Jeremy Frimpong, also from Bayer Leverkusen. I want to use him as a wingback on attack. This role has a hard-coded instruction of gets further forward. And if we go to his player profile, his 3 player traits all fit in with this player role. And the final player, of course, is Mo Salah, one of the world's best inside forwards. I'll place him on the right side so he can cut inside onto his left foot. I've got 3 player roles that I want to use, so let's head to the next section and start building out that tactic. This is our 4-3-3 so far. An advanced playmaker on attack in the center midfield. Wirtz is right-footed, so that's why I put him on the right side. Salah as the inside forward on support on the right flank. Now I put an individual player instruction of stay wider. We'll look at a clip in just a bit to show you why I've chosen this role with this player instruction. Continuing on, we've also got that wingback on attack in the right fullback spot. We have 3 player roles that aren't too concerned with defending, so to build out the rest of the tactic, I want to use some more defense and support focus roles. I started working on the other central midfielder role, and I chose the Carlero. It's a role that fits perfectly with what I'm trying to do, and as a bonus, we have a special player just for certain special occasions. This is Dominik Szoboszlai, and we have a special DLP top tip. The Carlero player role, paired with a player like Szoboszlai, who has shoots from a distance as a player trait, will more than likely get you 2 to 3 goals per season just from that combination. So if you play as Liverpool, try him in this role. Heading back to the formation, to fill out the rest of the midfield, we've got the halfback. He'll help stop counterattacks, and the back 3 the role forms will help us with possession. The 2 center backs are simple central defenders. As a note, both center backs also have stay wider as a player instruction. Along with the halfback, this will push them even further to help in the wider areas. The left fullback is the fullback on support. Andy Robertson is probably better suited as a wingback, but he drew the short straw in terms of choosing a role suited for the tactic rather than the player. Ahead of the fullback, I chose the inverted winger on attack. Like the right side, the fullback and inverted winger are an exceptional flank combination. And finally for the striker, I chose the pressing forward on defend. He'll help out while defending, of course, and he'll also drop to give room for the inverted winger and inside forward when we have the ball. The team instructions are simple ones. I've chosen the in possession ones to focus on keeping the ball and building out from the back. And here's our final tactic. While that tactic is my preferred starting 11, I had a lot of injuries where players were out for 2 to 3 weeks. So when we watch the highlights, be aware that some players may not be in their position that they were shown in the tactic. Anyway, with all that out of the way, let's check out some clips. Our first clip starts with my goalie on the ball, and we're about to build out from the back. But this one is all about Wirtz and the advanced playmaker role. On the attack duty, he's encouraged to dribble more, and that's exactly what he's going to do. For our next clip, we start with a central defender on the ball in our own half. The play begins and we're slowly but surely working it up the field. No one player is taking too much time on the ball. I'll pause here as we've got it in the midfield. Here's our inside forward, and remember he's got stay wider as a player instruction. He wants to make this diagonal run behind the defense, and telling him to stay wider gives him more room to do this. But it also works in combination because of the striker, the pressing forward on defend. And this role wants to hold his position and wait for any attacking runs in behind. We'll start this one with the opponent on the ball in their half. We quickly win it back and start building our possession, passing it as we get it up the field. Now here, we'll focus on the central defender, who, like the inside forward, is told to stay wider, sitting in the half space and able to pick out passes. This one, my wingback is on the ball deep in the opponent's half. Here's the other central defender, and like the last example, you can see that almost half space positioning. But we're going to focus on the halfback. When we lose the ball, the halfback will push up to stop the counterattack, and it's going to force the ball wide. This allows us to recover back into our defensive shape. The rest of the clip shows off a bit of our passing, culminating in the inverted winger tapping into that winger heritage and getting an across. We're at the kickoff in our next example. It's nothing too earth-shattering, but this player here is again Dominik Szoboszlai, and he's the Carolero in this match. He'll give you an example on why that role, who wants to camp out on the edge of the penalty box, works so well with the player trait shoots from distance. We're nearing the end of our highlight journey, and it starts with my wingback on the ball in the opponent's half. This is another special DLP top tip. If you have a striker that has trouble staying onside, try using a role that deliberately keeps him sitting deeper, like the pressing forward on defend. The striker will still make runs in behind, but that deeper position makes it harder to be caught with an offside trap. The striker gets the goal with an assist from the inside forward. Our last clip starts with my central defender on the ball in the opponent's half. I figured the last clip would benefit showing off two of our new signings combining for the goal. Liverpool are a very good team and the results have been very good. Now I'll say that the Arsenal match I got lucky as we were pretty thoroughly outplayed, but hey, I'll take it. Now, it was the hardest thing in the world to not use Mo Salah as a round order, but hopefully you enjoyed this look into what I would do with Liverpool. If you'd like some player role shirts or maybe a digital football manager planner, you can check out the Half Space Apparel online store. I've also got a Patreon account if you'd like to support the channel. Anyway, that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching.